Hey guys, tonight I want to give a testimony on Microhance. We recently applied Microhance to a cotton field for a grower that I've been consulting. The one thing that we noticed in the samples that we pulled, and we pulled both tissue and petiole samples, was that he was low initially in manganese, being somewhere around 42 parts per million. He was low in calcium, potash, nitrogen, and he had a deficiency somewhat in boron. He was somewhere around 20 parts per million. We pulled these tissue samples about a day to 2 days prior to him making the application of Microhance at a quart rate. The thing that I really want to discuss and emphasize is be very careful about the time, the length of time that you give yourself when you apply Microhance to you going back and checking your soybeans or your cotton or corn or whatever crop you're applying. Give that foliar nutrient a chance to get into that plant, be absorbed, and make its way from that petiole to that tissue, to that leaf, because it does take time. We went back and pulled tissue samples, probably would have been about 5 days after the application of Microhance, and everything showed positive except for our manganese. Our manganese was still hanging around that 40-45 parts per million range. Our boron was in the sufficient level, but it still had not gotten exactly where I wanted it to be in that, somewhat high sufficient to high range. We waited and pulled another tissue sample on the 25th of July, which would have been about 6 days after our last tissue and petiole samples were pulled 2 days after our application. After going back and looking at that second tissue sample, and the grower had applied nothing else after that Microhance application, what we discovered is that we had become high excessive on every single nutrient or micronutrient and almost all the secondary nutrients that you're actually testing for on these tissue and petiole samples. So what we've come to conclude in this is we made good time with the Microhance, and the Microhance did a great job getting into that plant and boosting all of our nutrients up to where they needed to be for bowl set. So the grower was extremely satisfied. I'm very satisfied, and I hope this gives good testimony to using Microhance. Thing that we need to take from this is we don't need to just go out there, with the mentality that a quart rate is what we need, every time we go and apply this product. Because I have seen it in other crops, and I'm seeing it here. The product does so good with the fulvic acid that's in this material, transposing into the cells of the tissue and into that crop, that you can actually cause a deficiency or a toxicity, It can easily happen. We see it in grass a lot of times with the boron and Microhance. Be very careful about over applying this product. It needs to be done in a spoon feed type scenario. What I have found the best thing to do is each time you go out to make an application of insecticides, fungicide application, herbicide applications, go out there with a pint rate of this product. And what you want to do is try your best to achieve up to 2 to 2.5 quarts per season with this product, because there's only so much nutrients that a plant can take up at any given time. It's just like when we sit down and eat at the table, we can't eat but so much at one time. It doesn't matter how much food you put in front of yourself, you can't eat but so much, and a plant operates the exact same way. So give that plant a chance to take what it can have, what it can eat, and come back later and give it more. Supply the nutrient need throughout the longevity of the season of that crop growth and development. So I hope this is a good testament of a product that does a great job. Thank you for your time.